In this video, I'm going to talk about access packages. Now, access package is one of the feature set in identity governance in Microsoft Entra ID Service. Now, there are multiple ways to create access packages. You can create through in the Azure portal, or you can create that in the Entra Admin Center as well. Now, the concept of access packages that, so take for example, you have a set of resources like say SharePoint site, groups or teams, applications, or enter ID roles. Now, if you want to grant access to a set of resources, what you would do independently as an application is you go into a SharePoint site, you grant, say, member role to person A, person B, or group A or group B. Or if you want to grant access to a team, you will go into the team and add the user as a member or an owner, right? So that is all you have to do manually. Now, what if we want to have some an automated process whereby all these things are grouped as a form of a catalog? So take for example, there is a catalog for say HR permission or sales permission or maybe project X permission or project Y permission. So that means all the people working for that specific project are loaded into accessing those catalog components. Now, what an admin needs to do is first prepare a catalog, and then once that catalog is ready, they can grant access to the resources. Now, I'm going to go through all the steps. First, I'll go through the slide decks, and then we will do a live demonstration. So, to start with, Access Package, as I mentioned to you, it is a feature of Microsoft Azure. So, it's one of the Azure services in identity governance. Now you can access through portal.azure.com and entra.microsoft.com. Now, what is access package? Access packages can be used to assign accesses to roles of multiple resources that are in the catalog. So you need to have a catalog in place. Now, access package enables you to do a one-time setup of resources and policies. Now, it's just a one-time setup and you can reuse that package for multiple instances. So take for example, in your organization, if someone you're onboarding, now once you start that onboarding process, you need not contact your administrator and get them connected to that specific resources or applications or groups or teams. A package is already being created by your administrator. What you just need to do is like you just need to specify that whoever joins that organization, they need to be put into an onboarding package or something like that. Once you create that package, those users will be automatically granted access. Now this can be either a grant based access, like if someone joins an organization they'll automatically have an access, or someone needs to go into some portal and request for access, so it can go through that approval process as well. So all these options are available as a part of access packages. Now, all access packages must be in a container called a catalog. Now, catalog basically it's a container. It defines what resources you can add to your access packages. If you do not specify a catalog, then definitely it will go into a general catalog. As a catalog owner, you can add resources to the catalog while creating an access package as well. So either you can create catalog independently or you can create access catalog while creating an access package. So I'm going to demonstrate that as well. As access package manager, you can't add resources that you own to a catalog. That is the one thing you need to keep in mind. Access packages must have at least one policy for users assigned to them. So there has to be one policy. Without a policy, that access package will not be activated. One access package can derive resources from one catalog. Access packages can be accessed using an access portal link, which I'm going to show you while demonstrating. So that means the user needs to go into some link and then request for an access or view the historical information of what has happened through that approval process. You can link same catalog with multiple access packages. You need to enable multiple policies, or you need to enable policy on access packages to activate it and then make it appear for the target users. Now, as you see from this diagram over here, there are currently four types of resources which you can grant access to the access packages. Now, this forms as a composition for the catalog component, groups and teams. So Microsoft 365 groups and teams. Now, within groups, there are many things which you can consider as a security group or a just a normal Microsoft 365 group. Then there is an application. Application is like any application which you create in Microsoft Azure, like how we create an app registration application, right? So all this application will form as a part of application suite. Now, SharePoint sites. So if you have SharePoint site for that specific tenant, it will all be listed, and then you can grant appropriate rights to the user who will give be who will be given a role in the access package component, and also the newly introduced Microsoft Entra role. So any role or security role within Microsoft Entra will also be forming a part of that catalog component. This is how the catalog will look like. As you see over here on the left hand side, this is catalog selected. I have 4 catalog here. I can put some description. This indicates how many access packages are currently using this catalog, how many resources exist within that catalog. So as you see here, Girish C catalog has 16 resources and it is enabled. So you can create a catalog and then you can turn that off as well. And here it will give you a summary of information, like this is Girish C catalog, and then it will show you that there are 5 groups and teams, there are 4 apps, there are 3 SharePoint sites, 4 Microsoft Entra ID role, and 1 access package. And every catalog will have its own object ID as well. So this is the diagram as I showed to you. So when you create an access package, it should belong to one catalog. If you do not mention any catalog, then it goes into the general catalog. Now catalog can have resources. Now, so take for example, catalog has say 10 SharePoint sites, 10 groups and team, 10 Entra ID roles, 10 application. Not necessarily when you create a catalog, you have to grant access for that 10 resources. What you can do is, like, if this is this entire catalog basically has say 10 components over here, you can create an access package. You mention that this belongs to catalog A, and you can selectively pick up the SharePoint site from it. Like say you can say, for this access package, although it is pointing to this catalog, I can have 5 SharePoint sites linked, 2 groups and team, 3 applications, and 5 Enter ID roles. Even that is fine. It's just like a uh, catalog is like a bigger component, and then access packages like will take the subset of the resources from the catalog. Now let me just show you how does this all work. So catalog basically contains resources, groups and teams, apps, SharePoint site, Entra roles. Catalog can be enabled or disabled. Catalog can be enabled for external users, and catalog can belong to multiple access packages as well. Now, access package, when you create an access package, there are a lot of configurations which you can do uh, at a administration level. So you can configure who can request access package. Now, the person can be within directory, active directory, person is not in directory, or you can do a direct assignment of access packages at the time of creation or like post creation as well. Configure approval post request. So that means you can put an approval in place. You can have a single stage approval, or you can have multi-stage approval. If a user is requesting for an access package, you can collect various information from requester. You can define a custom form parameters, like say if you want user to say to the admin that why is that user requesting an access package, what is the main reason for it, what is the business case for that. So you can request for that information. You can configure new request enablement. You can configure access package assignment expiry. So that means if you grant an access package, then you can decide when you want that access package to be expired. It can be for 1 day, 7 days, 10 days, or it depends on how you want to configure depending on your organization's use case. Now, you can also request user, like a user can also request extension for the timeline as well. So there's a lot of configuration which are already available as a part of access package. Now, whatever I mentioned to you, it is all in the form of this screenshot. So require approval, require justification, how many stages, approval, justification, enablement of new requests. So all these are present. Now, how does a user access the access package? Now, what user need to do? User need to go into myaccess.microsoft.com. Once a user go into that portal, under access package, the user will see all the pending actions, user will see all the access packages, and then based on that access package, user can know what site or what group or teams access the user is going to get, and the request assignment will be either manual approval of that particular request, or it will be automatically assigned to the user. So let's jump into the demo. So let me go into portal.azure.com. So if you want to navigate to the access package, what you need to do, go into portal.azure.com. On the left hand side, click on Microsoft Entra ID, and then within Entra ID, you can go into something called as identity governance. Now from here, you can create access package. Just navigate to entitlement management, click on access packages. This is one way. Second way is to go to entra.microsoft.com. Now it will take you to Microsoft Entra Admin Center, and then once you're signed in, it will again take you to that same subset of the screen. Okay, so let me log in. Now I've logged into the application. Now, as you see over here, I can navigate to the Microsoft Entra ID, Entra Admin Center. Under Identity Governance, Entitlement Management, I can again go to Access Package. So this is how you first navigate. So let me show you in Azure itself how you create. Now, first thing, I have created already Access Packages, and Access Packages has, you can see here, pending request, active assignments, and those sort of information, right? Now, uh, in order to create an access package, first I will create a new access package. Okay, now I'll click on new access package, and then I'll put an access package name. Okay, so let me create an access package, and I'll call it as access package onboarding user, and then I'll specify this access package is for exclusive use of new onboarding user for Girish Corporation. Okay, so this is why I have created access package. Now from a catalog, I will be able to select the catalog. Now there is a general catalog, and then there are some specific catalog which I have created. Now in your case, you will not see other catalog if you have not created. You'll only see general catalog. If you do not have a general any catalog which you want to select, you can select general catalog and just move on. Okay, however, you have an option to create a new catalog from here as well. So the first step, what I would recommend is, rather than creating an access package, first create a catalog. So in order to create a catalog, I'll click on create new catalog, and then it will ask me to create a new catalog. So let me create a new catalog, and I'll call it as catalog onboarding user. See, we haven't completed the access package creation. Now in between, we have creating a catalog for onboarding users, right? And here I can just say catalog onboarding users, and that's it. Enabled, yes or no. Enabled for external user, yes or no. So I'll say it is enabled, and enabled for external users, no. If I say yes, then external user will have access to it. If no, external user will not have access to it. And let me create this. So what I've done, I have created this catalog, and now this catalog is now pointing to this particular access package. So all good. Second thing, what you need to do, you need to go into resource roles. Okay, now see, we'll not go into this resource role. First, what I'm going to do is, like, first I'm going to populate the catalog. Okay, so in order to populate the catalog, I'll use Entra ID Admin Center. Okay, now I'll go to the catalog over here. I'll just click on refresh, and then I should be able to see the catalog which I've just created. Now as you see over here, there is no access package which is pointing to it. There is no resources in it. Okay, so first add resources to the catalog. Now what are the resources which we can add? We'll go to the resources over here, and we'll say add resource, and we can add a group and team, application, SharePoint site, Entra role. Let's add some group for the onboarding users. So what I want is, like, onboarding users should have access to 2024 SP site group and digital initiative public relation. Okay, so these are the couple of groups which I want the user to have access. Now as you see over here, we have added two groups, which is a Microsoft 365 group. I can add applications, so I'll add applications over here. Now applications are basically an enterprise applications, as you see over here, which type is enterprise application. Now I want the user to have a COE command center. I want the user to have a Giri app, a custom application for our organization, and maybe approvals kit application. Okay, so this is just like sample applications which you have within your organization. You're selecting it. Okay, and I'll just say select it. SharePoint sites. Now I can select all the SharePoint site which is part of my organization's tenant. Right now here it might take some time to load, but once it loads, you will be able to see the list. I want the user to have Adelaide bus project and Brisbane bus project to be given to the onboarded user. Not all onboarded user will get all these things, but then I'm just putting it in the catalog and then we can selectively choose. Now then we can add Microsoft Entra role. So for all the new user which are part of this organization, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give them maybe Dynamics. Let me see if I can get Dynamics or Power Platform. So maybe Dynamics Business Central Administrator. Okay. And I'll say Power Platform Administrator and I'll select OK. Right. So this is how we can create this catalog. Now this catalog contains X components, right? Like there are some around 10 odd components, 10 or 8 components which are part of this catalog. I'll click on add. So what we have done, we have added resources to the catalog which you have just created, and the catalog name is catalog onboarding users. So I can see these components in uh, catalog, right? So all good, catalog is doing good. Let's go into the access package now. Now here in the access package, now we have added this catalog to that particular access package. If I go into the resource role, I can add group and team. Again, it is showing me the same thing, but we have already configured access package to that specific uh, catalog. If I click on groups and teams, now it says see all group and team not in the catalog onboarding user. You must have correct permission to add that. Okay. Now, if I click on users, if I click on groups, I don't see anything. Why? Because the catalog process which we have created over here. Now, this catalog onboarding users which we have created, it has says some set of resources which we have just defined, right? If I go into the access package, if I go into the rules and administrator, I can do whole bunch of things over here. uh, Remember that you need to add a catalog owner, catalog reader, access package manager. So these are different set of roles. Depending on the role which you play within your organizations, you can add those users. Okay. Now what we are going to do is, like, we have this catalog created. Now as the screen was created uh, before the catalog was created, you will not be able to see this information. Okay. Now even I've seen that, like, if you do some sort of a refresh, you'll not be able to see this information. So what we're going to do, I will just copy this access package onboarding users, and then I will start from scratch. Okay. So let me again go back to identity governance, go to access package, new access package, and then I will access package onboarding user, point it to catalog onboarding users, click on new resources over here, click on groups and teams, and now you can see the groups and teams over here. Okay, so this is a bug which I found. Either it should have been refreshed while creating that. So make sure that before you create access package, you first create a catalog, assign resources to a catalog, and then only create access package. Okay, now out of the resources which you see over here, you can select a subset of the resource. You can select all, but then you can select a subset as well. So I'm just selecting a subset, and I will say, from a group's perspective, I will select this. From enterprise applications, app registrations, administrative unit, if I have anything, I can select that. Let me select this group. Click on applications. Now here we have selected couple of applications in the catalog. I will just select couple of applications, and I'll select from SharePoint site. There are two site. I will just select Adelaide bus project. I'll select here, and from an intra role perspective, I will select Power Platform Administrator, and that's it. I'll click on request now. Now who can request this access package? All users in your directory or none? I'll say for users in your directory. And which users can see this access, which users who can request access? Now I can say all users within my organization, or maybe I'll just say specific users. So if you have a group called as onboarding user group, you can add that user and group over here. Or maybe in my case, I will just add couple of users. So maybe I'll just add Alex, and say select, and I can add other users as well. So maybe I'll see, I can add Grady, I can add Girish, I can add Henrietta, Asia, Jill. Okay, I'll select this users and whether the user require an approval. Now we can go into the approval process. Now, what might happen over here is like if I say require approval and require approval for justification, I can specify how many stages of approval the user approval process will go, like, and who will be the approver, manager as approver, specific approver, or sponsors as approver, and I can even add a fallback. So it can go into as complex approval process as it can. Now, decision must be made in how many days. So you can even set that hard limit on by how many days the required decision making process. Require approval justification, I can even put that as well. So but I'm not going to go into this complications because it's just an introductory session. So I'll just say require approval no, and enable new request as no. Now user can also enable a new request. So by verifying this id, you can even configure users enablement of the new request. I'll just say no, and I will go to next request information. Now I can even ask question, like I can say why do you need it, which department do you belong to it, and then I can put an answer format as short text, multiple choice, long text, and then I can use regex pattern as well. Okay, I can mark that field as required, but I'm not going to go into that. I'll go on life cycle. Access package assignment expire after number of days. So I'll say this access package expire after 60 days. Okay, so then I can type in the number 60 over here. User can request specific timelines. I can say yes or no. I'll just say no, and then we can show advanced expiration settings as well, but I'm not going to go through that. Require access review, no, I'm not going to use that. I'll click on next rules, and then next, and then click on create. Now what we are going to see over here is like the validation. Now it says please fix the errors on this page before continuing, because we in resource role we have some sort of an error or field which we haven't filled in. Now as you see over here, what has happened is like we have selected the resources from the catalog, but it says role selection is required. Now this is an important part. Now you have inherited the component from the catalog. However, within the catalog it says for this particular group and team, what role do you want? So you need to select that. I'd say I need a member role. For this application, what role do you want? Now this depend on the type of the resource. Now for application, it will just show you default access and any other custom role which you have defined. I'll select default access. For all these things, you can have a default access. And for a SharePoint site, now SharePoint site works, the permission works in a different way, and that's why you will see something else. You will see either a member, owner, or visitor. I'll just say visitor. I'll say eligible member for the Power Platform administrator, right? Once that is done, click on next request information, and then next, and review and create, and then this particular package will be created. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, I'll be logging in as a separate user. Okay. So let me first log in as, say, Alex. Okay. So let me show you how Alex will look like. Now, in order to access it, the user will type in myaccess.microsoft.com. This is a separate user. Okay. Now, the package which we have created, let's see first whether that package is available for that user or not, because this is also an important step. I've seen like many people creating this, but then they are not able to see the package. Okay. So as an Alex, I am logged into this application. I'll just close this. I'll say access package. Now in access package, how many access packages are available? It says you have access package HR and it is active. But the one which we have created just now, this is the one which we created, it is not visible to Alex. Now why? Now if I go into the identity governance again, and let me go into the access package. Now if you see over here, this is the access package which we have created. Now there is no active assignment. Okay. Now why there is no active assignment? So let's go into access package onboarding user, and here if you click on edit, here you will see that this is hidden no, It is pointing to catalog onboarding user. This is the access portal link. From here you can also get into the access portal for the end user. In manage, you can have resources rules. Okay, but if you go into the policies over here, it says there is one initial policy. You can add your own policy, but in the interest of time, I'd say just select this initial policy. Okay, click here and just say enable. I'm just enabling the policy. So this is the last step which you need to do. You need to enable the access policy. Once you enable the access policy, let's again go back to Alex and refresh the screen. Okay, and see whether this package is directed to Alex or not. Yes, now you can see that Alex is being given the option of requesting this package. Now what happens is, say take for example, Alex has newly joined the organization. What Alex needs to do, Alex need not coordinate with a SharePoint admin or Power Platform admin or Azure admin. What Alex needs to do, just go into myaccess.microsoft.com and go into the access package and then pick up whatever package he wants. So take for example, HR might say Alex that, hey, once you are onboarded to Microsoft 365, go into this link and then get re- request for this particular access package. So what happens if Alex goes into this access package request link? It will show you, Alex, that request details, access package onboarding user. What are the resources you're going to get? You're going to get 5 resources: the SharePoint site, application, a directory role, and application and group role as a member for Digital Initiative Public Relations Group. You can also see by the application segregation, and now you just click on continue. And then if you have any business justification, you can just say, I'm just a new user. You submit a request. What happens, it will go through the approval process, and within a matter of second you will be granted an access. So what happens, once you have been granted an access, you can go into the request history and you can actually see that you have been granted an access. Okay, it is delivered. And then after sometimes you will see that this, the new one which we have created, is still delivering. Now after some time you will see that it is delivered. Once it is delivered, you can actually view the information. Now let's see, view the information for the last one. Like this is all the traces which we can see, what happens, when did you submit, when it was auto approved, when it was delivered, to you. So let me wait for some minute, and now as you see over here, this is delivered. This package is delivered. So when once you get this delivered thing, what it means is that you now can access the package. Okay, so that means you automatically get access to all the resources which you have requested. So this is how you basically use the entire life cycle of the access package. So that's it, folks. This is all about using access package to automate the delivery of the permissions for the groups, SharePoint sites, Entra ID roles, and application within the entire Microsoft Azure and Microsoft 365 system. Thanks for watching.